Maybe you'd like to read something.
Sure. It's called Tomato Mozzarella Salad. I've been trying to write more short stories recently. My partner is a chef, so I wanted to write a recipe that was also a short story. And so that is this. This tomato salad looks simple, but it often takes 2 cooks to really make it sing. It's a hand-me-down family recipe. I used to hear my parents struggling with it in the kitchen, and so I decided to put my own spin on it. No doubt my grandparents had their own version too. Some cooks will tell you what makes a dish great, particularly a salad like this, is the quality of the ingredients. But in this case, I strongly feel that it's actually about what you do with them. So all hands on deck. Ingredients: 6 to 7 tomatoes, heirloom. 3 mozzarella balls, basil, lots. Vinegar, balsamic. Pine nuts, 1 long display plate. Take your tomatoes. Ideally, these are heirloom tomatoes with a long and storied lineage, but if all that is available are beef tomatoes from the shop on the corner, they'll do just fine. Slice them lengthways as if you're carving a roast ham. This will be easier with sharp Japanese knives. Did you sharpen the knives? Ask your partner to sharpen the Japanese knives you brought them back from Japan. If you want to, you can follow this up by asking them if they've even used the knives you brought them back from Japan, why they wanted knives if they didn't intend to use them, or even a general investigation into whether they know that Japanese kitchen knives and samurai swords are different items. But the first question should suffice. You want slim but still meaty, robust slices that display the seeds of the fruit like a Rorschach test. But if the knives are blunt for now and the tomatoes look like they've been bludgeoned or fallen from a balcony, that's fine too. Arrange their remains on the display plate. Slice the mozzarella as you did the tomatoes. You can use burrata here if you prefer, though there is a significant price difference. Feel free to discuss this difference in expense with your partner, and how the option chosen is indicative or not of your spending habits. You can even broaden this into a larger discussion of your respective salaries, and whether or not they are an adequate reflection of the labor, emotional or otherwise, you waste on them. Make sure to use the word waste. Ignore your partner as they stab the mozzarella with a Japanese knife and make a 1-syllable noise that may or may not be racially insensitive. Inwardly worry that the goofy jokes your partner makes, which simultaneously make them seem both childish and prematurely aged, while essentially benign, are turning them in your mind into an asexual figure, like a pillow or a crash test dummy. Count the slices of mozzarella and how many times you have had sex this year so far. Ideally, this would be around 20, as many as there are slices of tomato/evenings you have both had free this year. But less can also work. Stab your blade into the heart of the final ball of mozzarella. Slice it patiently. If you don't have patience, fury will do. Cut your finger a little on the knife. Quickly cover this with kitchen roll or by sucking the blood off. This is hygienic and also diminishes the opportunity of your partner making a point about how sharp the Japanese knives are in reality, and that the fact that the tomatoes look so abysmal is in fact not down to the knive's sharpness, but to the chef's technique. They may choose to garnish this comment with a variant on a popular phrase involving the words bad workman, tools, and, a personal favorite, blame. But if they don't go this far, that's fine too. At this point, accidentally get vinegar in the cut. Make a noise of pain and irritation like a cat being stepped on. Time this carefully to coincide with your partner making a reconciliatory joke in which they say the word basil, like prunella scales in Faulty Towers. In the confusion, try to open the packet of pine nuts. Scatter them liberally around the room. Scream, and leave swiftly. As you sit on the sofa, consider your life and its alternatives. Consider that there are many other people on the planet you could have ended up with. People more handsome, with bigger or smaller collarbones, more money or vision, or less dry skin. Someone who has a plan for the future, pursues its treasures actively rather than just being open to its possibilities, who is capable of articulating their hesitancies and preferences, not just living them, who wants a child at the same moments that you want one. Think of the specific men and women from your past who hovered for long enough in your life to suggest a future, like a mayfly landing on the tense surface of a river, or a shopper rolling a jar of peanut butter in their hands before putting it back on the shelf. Let yourself mourn the loss of the threads of these former lives. Do this for approx 20 minutes, or until your eyes are moist. As your partner comes into the living room and applies a plaster to your finger, tenderly, notice that their fingers, and in fact all of them, smells of basil. Say the word basil, like prunella scales from Faulty Towers. Ideally out loud, but inside will suffice. Look at your partner's eyes. Maybe this could all be better. But if not, this will do just fine.
Oh, Ben, that's so beautiful. I loved hearing it a
Thanks.
second time. And it just perfectly captures your writing style as well, of being able to move people and make them laugh.
It's very kind. Thank you. It's weird. Even now reading it again. It's so strange.
Oh, no, I love it. It really captures the universality of relationships as well, the ups and downs and the ways you can really push each other's buttons. I like that line in it where it's like, this can work. And that's all of us what we're doing a lot of the time is this can work. We can make this work.
Maybe this is TMI, but a lot of my partner and I often talk about that thing of, God, because we're both very indecisive about things. And we're like, it's not about making the right choice. It's about making the choice right. And like that being like a kind of, it's quite a good little mantra to have as a thing, particularly for our generation. There's like so many options of ways you could be living and all of this stuff. And actually, it's actually just about like, you have a life and it's often, whichever thing you choose, you'll just have, it will be the right thing because it's the thing you've chosen. So
Yeah.
you just have to make a life out of it,
That's nice. I'm going to steal that mantra. I think it's really important as couples to have shared mantras because you need to have a way to have arguments or have disagreements, be able to like see each other in that, not diminish that or say that it's okay, but be able to like find ways forward together. Yeah. One thing we'll often say is, often couples kind of have the same argument repeatedly. The argument that you have is the argument you have at the beginning is the end. There's usually one thing that is your inattention as a couple. But really the question is like, is this the person you want to be having the argument with for a long time? Because maybe it doesn't go away. There's always a tension within your dynamics. But are you willing to do this for a long time and be able to come together at the end?
That's a great way of putting it. Because actually, I mean, yeah, the kind of the fallacy, I think, always with the idea that it's like, oh, there's something better over the horizon is that like the only reason other things often look more exciting or different, or whether it's being single or someone else or all these things, often the reason it looks so appealing is because it's not the thing that you're doing right now. And obviously, if you spent as much time with anyone as you spend with your partner, of course there's always tension and of course there's always like difficulty. And actually it's whether or not that's like a put-upable amount of difficulty, basically. And you're right, like actually the arguments you have are often like that's part of the fabric of it and is kind of quite a fun, important part of it. It's like, oh, this is the genre of friction that we've decided to have for our lives. How exciting.
Yeah. And then to not dwell too much on how that genre of friction is probably like your parents and your grandparents before making the tomato salad, because that's a whole different podcast. But yeah, I love that. The smelling of the basil, because it's all about coming back to that present moment and remembering to appreciate each other.
Oh gosh, I hadn't thought about it like that.
Thank you so much for that reading, Ben.